seat. And so I thought that I would kind of go off of this and also continue to build on this great acronym and provide a little bit more strategies that fall in between. Before I get started, I would like you to just take a moment to look at some of the visuals that I found online and just kind of think, what would you do or respond if this was your child in this following scenario? So this one. I like this one. And this one. I think that sometimes it's so easy to respond with, you're okay, come on. It's not that scary. It's kind of cute. You'll be fine. Try not to think about it. Stop crying. We can think of something else. But I also wonder, by responding in such clear-cut ways, how much, oh, I am so sorry. I forgot to record. I'm going to start it right now.
That's all right, Danny. I've started recording. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So through these moments, how much empathy are we showing, but also how much opportunity are we missing by just cutting off the conversation that way? I like to think of these moments as teachable moments. And teachable moments for educators are like golden opportunities because they can't be bought, they can't be fabricated, and they can't be manipulated to happen. They just happen in those moments. And what you leave, what you embed with the children or even adults in these moments, they kind of tend to stick. And so before I start stepping into the tips that I have, I kind of want to talk about the brain and the power of connections. I don't think you'd be surprised if I said our brain as adults differ significantly from that of children. And research keeps piling up as technology continues to increase. We're finding more and more things about the brain that we've never known. And we are realizing that the brain is an amazing and powerful tool that has different sectors that are constantly working together. Now, for us as adults, we have a vast amount of knowledge and experience to kind of interact with strange or new encounters. But for children, they might lack those experiences. They might lack those tools and strategies when they face new types of obstacles that come their way. And so I do want to say it does fall on adults oftentimes that to fill in those gaps and to bridge those connections and support them during those times. And so the strategies that I do want to leave with you fall right in between the exhibit empathy and assist with regulation. And to be honest, I can't believe I'm giving you away some trade secrets as a counselor, because I'll be out of a job if The first strategy is called Name It to Tame It. And the idea is to help your child name the overwhelming feelings or emotions through words. And so what this does is it helps create a bond, an empathetic response where the child would feel understood and heard, and they can be confident and feel secure that the person that they care about or they value the most is with them in that moment. So how does this look like? If your child is scared and hiding behind you, you might say, wow, that was scary. You didn't like that part of that movie. Frustration with homework or something. Man, this homework is frustrating. I bet you just want it to be over already. If there's anxiety or fear, you might say, wow, sounds like you're nervous about soccer practice, about blank. Thanks for telling me. If your child is feeling sad that their grandpa or grandma is leaving, then you might say, it's so hard to say goodbye. It's okay, I miss them too. And so what this does is you're not really trying to put the feelings into their mouth, but rather you're trying to assist them with something that they might be feeling that they haven't really put the words together yet. And if they agree, it opens up an opportunity for you to create a conversation with them and embed the last section of that acronym. The second strategy is guided storytelling. And I use this a lot, especially for students or for children that are a little bit more emotionally charged that might not respond positively to name it, to tame it. And so if they're having a hard time expressing words, having a hard time finding a place to start, this is a great strategy that I use all the time. And so I'm going to use my own personal fear as a child, which is cockroaches. And so let's say I'm emotionally charged and I'm afraid and I'm hyperventilating. And so I would come in and say, oh, you were walking by the hallway and you saw the cockroach. And then, oh, well, the cockroach, it was flying everywhere. And then I got scared and I ran away. And so you can see that you are helping them fill in the gaps to the story. And so this works also great with kids who respond with just like one word when they're in that state. So a cockroach flew towards you and you got scared. So I ran. You ran to the classroom. And then once you got to the classroom, I went to the teacher. So you can start helping them guide and start pulling out a story for them as they go along. It's a great tool. And so I want to end my session with this great Calvin and Hobbes comic strip. And you can see Calvin is putting nails on the coffee table. And I think sometimes, and the easiest way for us to is respond with, hey, what are you doing? Or getting our emotions out first. But if we take a step back and look at some problems, sometimes there are other things that are involved. Like, I mean, Calvin could be bored. He could have nothing else to do. And so this would be a perfect time and moment to connect and then guide to a different strategy that might be healthy and fit along with the acronym, the T section. I don't know if I spoke too fast. I got excited. I'm very passionate about this.
That is okay. So before we talk about your homework and some resources here that we will send out, does anybody have a question about last week or this week, or would anybody like to share an anecdote maybe of how they used some of these strategies over the last few weeks? We just always like to give some space for that. But again, there is no pressure. So as I'm going through the homework, or the until we meet again, if you have a question or a comment that you'd like to share, please put it in the chat, and we'll be happy to share that with the group and talk through it a little bit. So your goal or your intention or your homework for this week is to try to use this guided storytelling technique that Danny just shared with one of your children. And it may be, again, around any number of emotions that your child is feeling and may not be able to express without your co-regulation or your support. We also have the whole brain child, and that Siegel. There's an article there or a video there to help you understand a little bit more about the upstairs and the downstairs brain, as Danny noted. And then LeVar Burton is a TV personality from the United States. He also ran Reading Rainbow, which was a lovely show for some of us back in the 80s and 90s. But he's working with UNICEF out of the United States. And so he's done a short video explaining Name It to Tame It. You can watch Danny's talk here, which will be available on the parent portal, or you can watch LeVar Burton to find out a little bit more, because Name It to Tame It also works with adults, not just children. So I don't see anything in the chat. I just wanted to give a little plug for next week's session. We've been teaching students through homerooms and in our guidance lessons about the zones of regulation. And we banter about and toss that term about very easily, because it's a natural way for us at school to talk about supporting students and adults with emotional regulation. Next week, we'll speak a little bit more in depth about that for parents and how you can use that at home, so that there's that lovely bridge between home and school in terms of language and supporting our children. And yes, I did just get a bridge metaphor in there, because we are building bridges this year. We really appreciate you coming and joining us on Wednesday mornings for our parent chat. And as always, please reach out to Danny or myself or any of our leadership team if you need support or you have questions.